Sup, everybody? Sup, Carrie and Rebecca?
Sup, everyone?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna pause a second. Rebecca, I'm noticing something going on right here, and I'm seeing something there that I'm really interested in, and I feel like I need it. Can you tell me more about that?
There, Matthew?
Yes.
I think what you're noticing is our positive approach to care mask that goes out to every single person who registers for the conference.
Awesome. That is so cool.
Also, this awesome car decal or window decal, which is our theme, All Gems Can Shine, and an awesome pack tattoo, which more to come on the tattoo. I am so excited about how we're gonna display these, and they're temporary tattoos. Because there was a gentleman by the name of Jay Allen who played at the conference last year, and a lot of folks noticed that he has a fair amount of tattoos. So this year we're gonna play on that, and we're all gonna have our pack tattoos and our handy dandy, oh, you know me, I love this pen because it's got all these colors. Carrie, do you love that pen too?
Yeah, I love it.
So how do you think this is gonna play into All Gems Can Shine?
Look at those colors. I'm thinking those colors might have something to do with it.
I think you're right. So yes, I got my packet over the weekend and I was super excited. So I had to show off my face mask. And I noticed something about you, Matthew.
Oh yeah.
First of all, hey, we all kind of have on a similar color. We should take a picture tonight. Oh, but we're not together. So it's not quite the same thing. But you look awful festive. Tell me about that shirt.
Yeah, so kind of goes with tonight's guest, and it's been such a bummer. We just haven't been able to travel because of all this COVID stuff and go to exotic locations. And tonight's guest really has me in this exotic, this tropical, this kind of Hawaiian mood, hence the Hawaiian shirt. So Dorothy, come and join us.
Not me. Oh shoot, I thought I had you going to the islands, not
the exotic location of North Carolina, maybe, but
we do have a neighbor of Manda's has a palm tree. Does that count? We eat avocados and we like mangoes. No. Okay. let me rethink this. Okay, I'll go back away so you can introduce your food.
So close.
And before we go to Hawaii, Carrie, do you want to go to Hawaii tonight?
I totally want to go to Hawaii. But actually, one of the first things I'm going to do is you were just mentioning that conference.
Yes.
And gosh, now I don't know what I've shared with you guys. Like,
I think we were where you wanted us to be, but it's always good to go back out and start over.
Start again. Okay, can you see? We got the conference. We've launched our tickets for the conference. You can find them there on our website, PAC Annual Conference. Do you want to talk? We have some early bird incentives going on. So I think we hit on this last week and the last couple times about 50% off the relationship guide or the GEMS workbook if you order that at the same time.
Yes, and there's one more incentive that we didn't actually mention last week. I think we forgot to mention it, and that was everyone who registers early. I mean, this whole PAC thing is about this lady named Teepa Snow, right? And she puts on these amazing webinars. As we all know, that's how most of us drank the Kool-Aid early on. We are hosting a webinar just for our early bird registrations. It'll be in July, and when you register before the end of June, you will get automatic tickets to that free webinar with Teepa. So just some extra incentive to go ahead and sign up for the conference now.
Awesome.
That's great. I mean, so let me get this straight. 50% off either the relationship guide or the GEMS workbook. a mask, a pin, a tattoo, a car sticker, a webinar with Teepa. I mean,
That's a lot.
Yeah, and we actually launched ticket sales last week, and I'm thrilled to say we have quite a few people signed up and registered and planning to join us in November. And it seems like it's so far away, but it'll be here before we know it. And also there are a couple of, if you've been to the conference last year, 2020 or 2019, you know that we had a half day, or maybe it wasn't a full half day, but it was some special pre-conference intensives. So those will actually be included in the early bird registration as well. Do you remember a special family, guys, that we had on a few weeks ago? They are always a fan favorite. Ooh, who am I thinking about?
Those Roberts.
the
Oh,
Roberts.
Mark and Brenda Roberts and their daughter Tracy Fuller. Could we just have them on every week? Could we just, I mean, they're so much fun. So Brenda started this Dementia Minds group. And so for anyone that was at conference the past 2 years, you know that we have highlighted the Dementia Minds group, and our half day pre-conference will also highlight Dementia Minds in a very special sensory program that actually our PAC team did as part of our retreat last year. So you'll get that also. So early bird, come on, man, we've got lots to offer you.
Wow, that is amazing.
And Carrie, I think I took over your handy dandy PowerPoint because I can't stop talking conference. I just can't stop.
That's okay. I also wanted to point out to everybody, tomorrow night is our Ask Teepa Anything event. We are broadcasting on Facebook tomorrow night. Am I showing you a? Yes, I am showing a PowerPoint. There it is. And you can send us your questions at ata@teepasnow.com. Join us tomorrow night on Facebook. Later, of course, we always have daily content. Teepa's out there at 8 a.m. every day, PAC Live at 5, Monday through Friday. We just want to make sure you guys know all of the free content that we have available to you. And then SUP every Tuesday, where we're highlighting, like tonight, our certified community. Perfect. So come and see us and tomorrow night and every Tuesday here with SUP.
Thank you once again, Carrie, for getting us live on YouTube so that people can watch us, and then rendering the video and all the wonderful behind the scenes things that you do to make Matthew and I kind of functional. Kind of.
Carrie.
Always trying to make you guys shine, right?
It's all Carrie. So, hey guys, all aboard. Let's go to Hawaii.
Yep, all aboard. The plane leaves. Put your seat backs up in their upright position. Tray tables up.
I don't even remember how that goes. It's been so long. But Dorothy, maybe you can come join us on Zoom.
Welcome to SUP, Dorothy. Hello.
Hello,
Sup,
hello.
Dorothy?
I wish you all were here with me.
Your lips to God's ears, Dorothy. That would be fantastic. So, Dorothy, I actually got to connect with you on some certifications over the past few years. And man, I miss being with you in person. We have had some fun times.
Absolutely.
But have you had a chance, prior to planning for tonight, did you have a chance to meet with my colleague there, Matthew?
Yes, we were together on the certification too. In real life.
Oh, I thought I was special. Okay.
Just once, Matthew, right? We were together?
Yeah, just one time. Yeah. You were on the coaching certification that I was on. So
Yeah. I
Nice.
miss it. I really do miss it.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Dorothy. Tell us your background for those of
I am here
our
in
viewers
Hawaii.
who.
Yep. I'm on the island of Oahu, which is the island that has Honolulu, the capital city on it. I work for a long-term care facility called Hale Ku'ike. Hale Ku'ike. We have 3 locations. We all 3 are memory care residential homes. So I've been with Hale Ku'ike since 2005 when they opened. So I've been there from the very beginning. So this year makes 16 years, and it's it's just wonderful. I've been with PAC since 2014, but it's really all, I don't know, it's so interesting because so many parts of my life have come together. I have a deep personal connection for people living with dementia. My grandmother had Alzheimer's disease and lived with our family through the end of her life, and my father had vascular dementia, and then my father-in-law had Parkinson's. So three very different individuals with different causes of their dementia. So, and all of those journeys began, well, my grandmother's began and ended before I knew anything about what's up with dementia. So some trial by fire learning, and then some more formal education in the form of working at Hale Ku'ike, and then even more in depth when I became affiliated with PAC. Yeah.
Yeah, and so when you got into this realm of healthcare, it was, and where you are now, that wasn't kind of where you started. So
no. I won't do my whole twists and turns of life journey, but I'm from here, from Hawaii, and then I went to college and graduate school on the East Coast. But then when I moved back here, I started working for the United Way chapter here, which is the Aloha United Way, and they had a health and human service hotline statewide, so connecting people with services. And I worked there, and then I managed that program for many, many years. And then when I was had my second child, I sometimes call it my midlife crisis. I'm like, I'm not sitting in an office anymore. I'm done with this. I'm going to culinary school because I love to cook. So I went to culinary school, Kapiolani Community College Culinary School, and I just loved it. I loved it. And I knew I didn't want to work in a restaurant because I had young children, but I wanted to make a difference with families. That was like my little dream board thing. I want to make a difference with families. And at the time I was in culinary school, Hale Ku'ike was being conceived in a sense. And the owner, David Fitzgerald of Hale Ku'ike, actually worked with my culinary program to set up the dietary program, the kitchen and how it's served, because he's a strong believer in serving great food. He was the administrator at a skilled nursing facility previously, and he would tell me, how many care plan meetings do we sit in and think about ways to try and get this person to eat more? Well, why don't we just serve great food in a beautiful environment to make it appetizing and that we'd want to eat. So anyway, long story short, my culinary, one of my teachers helped design the program and started feeding students in to work there. So I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. I know about dementia. My grandmother had dementia, and away I went. And I went in and I just loved it. So I came in through the kitchen door, even though I had a background in health and human service management, and started working there, and really learned became close with residents, and then over the years, and moved back into management and became the business manager, and then for many years the administrator at one of our locations. Yeah. So I always say, I tease David that I'm going to go out the kitchen door when I'm going to work my way back.
I love that part of your story that you were thinking, okay, I'm going to do something different with my life, and then ended up, wait a minute, right back in the door of a community because you found someone who married those passions of yours. And what a novel idea that food could taste good and be served in a
yeah, I mean, really. And even to today, 16 years later, the food the resident eats is the food that our staff eats. We feed all our staff, so it's not like they get one kind of food or we get another kind of food. Of course, we do special diets and things like that and consistencies, but yeah, it's not second-rate food for an institution. Yeah.
Wow. So you found your way back into management, and somewhere along the line you connected with this Teepa Snow Lady.
Yeah. I can't remember which year it was, but I do remember distinctly when I first started with Hale Ku'ike, the first year or two was open, we did have some dementia training videos, and they were the worst. And I can't remember which ones they were, but one they were really dull and very kind of staged. And I was like, oh, this is painful to watch. And then somehow we got a hold of that. I think it was Tipa's first, the Accepting the Challenge DVDs, those 4 DVDs, and we started using those. And then Tipa came to an occupational therapy conference and spoke, and I saw her there. And we were one of the sponsors. We had a sponsor table there or something. But anyway, and that kind of went on like that. So it was an improvement to watching the videos, but from what we had before. But then in 2014, I think it was, when Tipa started having the trainer certifications. That was the first one. And one of my coworkers said it was in Chicago, and I think it was in a cold time of the year. I can't remember when it was. Cold for me, rather. Probably not. It wasn't winter, but I thought it was cold. And so I nudged me to go, and so I went and became a PAC certified trainer with the specific goal of bringing that back to our staff and our families. And at that time, we had 2 locations. Right now, we have 3 locations. So, so I think I did that staff and family trainings, real small workshops for 2014 and 2015, and it was 2016 that Tipa and PAC asked me to try out being a support mentor, and I think my first one was in Las Vegas. Tipa might remember better. Consultant, I think, in Las Vegas.
The room with mirrors.
The room with mirrors, the tiny, tiny exercise room with mirrors and windows
on all 4 walls.
All 4 walls.
It's like, who thinks this is a good idea?
It was, and I thought that was normal. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. This how this works. Everything went uphill in terms of venue from there.
You could have totally faced the mirrors though and practiced your PPA with yourself, right? Though, I mean, you could have seen how your supportive stance or confrontation was going. I mean,
there wasn't room to. You had to turn sideways to move around between people. It was that tight. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That, in talking about environment, right? What a heck. What kind of room that would be.
Yeah. But I think for us with our journey with PAC, and let me backtrack a little bit. Hale Ku'ike means house of understanding in Hawaiian. Hale is house, Ku'ike, understanding. And so much about what Hale Ku'ike was and is from the very beginning really lined up with PAC. It's like, oh my goodness, we've kind of found a way to kind of realize what we wanted to do. And then so many things that we were already doing that fit in very well with PAC. So it was a great kind of marriage that way. And I think one of the biggest, there are a couple big changes when we became formally PAC. Well, aside from the first change was those videos were way more interesting than the old ones we had. It just held people's attention, and it did, I would say, it did bring a certain amount. It definitely raised awareness, and a few people tried out skills. But looking and thinking about something is very different than actually trying it out. And it was becoming a PAC trainer, and at that time it was just me at Hale Ku'ike, getting people to have fun with trying it out that made a huge difference for us. And that was a kind of a turning point. And then there's other kind of milestones for us with PAC that I can talk about too. But.
Yes, and we're definitely going to go down that path a little bit with you. But I want to just highlight something that you said, Dorothy, because when we work with folks who are newly becoming certified as trainers or consultants or coaches, many times they feel like this PAC message, this mission, this philosophy is they're going to have to go back and completely change the culture where they work. What you're saying is you were able to kind of marry those two.
I was able to marry the two, and I have to say one of the big things that made a huge difference is our owner and the president of the company and the administrator at was totally behind it, like complete support for it. And so I did have the feeling when I first started being a PAC trainer, it was 2 locations, so that would be like 100 staff between 2 locations, 50 some odd residents. It's like, and it's just me. So I did feel like I had to, and it seemed like, oh, there's so much to do, so much to teach you in the beginning, and then to be able to learn to like, okay, just one little tiny thing at a time. We're going to work on just this one thing with this one person, and just gradually chip away at it, and to learn that kind of patience not easy because it seems like I'm not making any difference, but you really, really are, you know. And even with the families, the workshops that we do for the families, of course, not everybody wants to come. Not everybody takes away what you hope they would, but you know, then you hear like this one thing that you said, you know, made a huge, huge difference for me. You know, that you know, I just turned off the TV at mealtime, and oh my God, they eat. I'm like, wow, that's so great. I'm so glad you tried that. You know, it was a 2-hour workshop. That was like the one thing, but what a difference, you know? So.
Yeah. So noticing how even with you just going in there and doing this yourself and some of the things that you were doing, there was folks still taking away those pieces and trying things out and seeing the positive effects about it. And so we're hearing about all of these awesome things you guys started doing there at Hale Ku'ike. And so I'm curious, one of the other big pieces was this engagement piece. And so could you tell us more about how that engagement piece started to evolve there?
I think that's the engagement piece, even before PAC, was something that set Hale Ku'ike apart from most, I'll say all other memory care facilities. And in terms of our, you know, we always had a person dedicated to activities, you know, every day, 7 days a week, but not one of the CNAs, you know, someone who is leading the, it really is the glue that holds the day together. If there's no activities person, everybody's at loose ends. The staff, it's just, so we always had that, but we had one of our activities directors, Rena Kua, come to Chicago, again, of all places, cold, and become an engagement leader, as certified. And then after that, we had our Kipa came, we did a PAC trainer certification in Hawaii, and also we did a PAC champion course in Hawaii. So we got, I think we have, I wrote it down so I would remember, I think we have, counting myself, we have 5 PAC trainers, and 2 of them are our DONs, 2 of them are administrators, and then 1 engagement leader, and then 6 PAC champions. And so to be able to spread that kind of, and not all of them do the training the way I do, or even hardly ever, but that still changes how they approach even working, teaching in the moment with staff. But where am I going with this? The 3 activities directors came together, and can I share my screen? Yeah, to look at, and this is, I think, made a huge difference at engagement certification and the training, to look at what are we doing, why, what does it fulfill, and how do we shape the day? You know, so in the course of that, and the team did that together. It wasn't me saying, okay, this is how you're going to do your day. This is what they built. I'm so proud of, and I'll show you another tab in a second. So this is what we share with, you know, families and people inquiring about Hale Ku'ike, that how we really strive to have a balance of not just fun and games. We do play bingo, but it's not, you know, things that make you fulfill that need to be productive, wellness, self-care, but with the goal of keeping a rhythm to the day. So we start out like lower energy, build up around lunchtime, then kind of go back down, and then come back up towards dinner. But I'm going to flip to this next one. This is what the staff uses, and that each location is unique because they're different, right? And really figuring out like, okay, we're singing these 3 songs, Star Spangled Banner. Hawaii Pono'i is the state anthem, and then everybody knows the words to that. You know, it's just like automatic. And what we're trying to achieve, we're trying to achieve singing, laughing, and talking. We're raising the energy level. What does this fulfill in these groups? You know, the activities directors did this. So what they choose to do, which kinds of arts and crafts, which things they're doing, that will differ from location to location and day to day. So there's a lot of variety, but these are what we're trying to achieve in that. So this is what the staff uses. So we found this after we developed this, we found it really helpful when we have new staff. Of course, the people who develop it know it in and out and don't have to look at the paper. But when we have new activities leaders or the nursing staff who's working with us, it helps. This one here you see is posted for the staff to use. Yeah.
Now, Dorothy, before you get rid of that,
yes,
keep that up for a second, because what's really special about this kind of sharing of information is it talks about what brain activities are we doing? How are we stimulating? How are we sustaining? What are we doing that's keeping people whole and keeping people supported and helping people to find comfort in familiar and functional and giving and the fact that it's a community effort. It's not
Right.
like Sarah's going to do this, Mary's going to do that kind of thing, but it's the team is putting this together. Speaks to a community, a sense of community and a commitment from the community. And this level of detail is what allows the rhythm of the day to be sustained. Regardless of if somebody has to step away, there's still going to be a rhythm to the day. And we're not going to be going, well, I don't know, she's out this week. I'm not sure. I don't think anybody's doing stuff. She'll start back when she gets back.
Yeah. And I think this is for our residents' moment to moment lives throughout the pandemic. This is what held that together.
Oh, so
of course we did so much more to survive a pandemic. I can wave my hands. We had no cases of residents. We're doing great. But
so you kept this going through the pandemic completely?
Yes.
So their schedule didn't change.
As far as they knew, there was no pandemic.
So they were together, they were engaged, and you had how many cases of?
We had 0 cases with our residents. We were on complete lockdown from March 11th up until, I would say, last week. I went 2 weeks after our last vaccination clinic. Nobody came in. Residents only went out for emergencies. But we did make some choices at the beginning of the pandemic. One was that we were not going to do any kind of in-room isolation. We were not going to require our residents to wear masks because, frankly, it's impossible. And so the burden was all on us to keep that. So as you know, Tipa, we had the mask, we were wearing face shields. It was like really an armor that we were in, and we had, we were all tested every 2 weeks. I think I counted myself tested at least 20 times over the course of the pandemic. But we can talk about that's loosened up now some now for us. But say that again, Tipa.
Got that simpler system, so you got it down.
Yeah, we got it down. But for the residents, and we had a few that were aware enough that there was, but we just kept it as normal as possible. And even, coaching the families for a visit, there's no need to say it's a worldwide pandemic, we're just be there in the moment. And I would say it's the one kind of blessing of losing track of time and not having time awareness is, while they were separated, and it was so hard with having families be apart, not be able to come in, even all we did to try and keep them connected, because of that lack of time awareness, they really didn't have that, like, oh, I haven't seen you in 6 months or any of that. So and we keep them busy, as you can see on the screen. So keeping busy is key to so much.
So Dorothy, this community that you have, you go beyond the walls of Hale Ku'ike. I mean, it's just a true Hawaiian giving. I mean, the spirit of Hawaii is when you go to that island and you are invited to culture, it's truly transforming. There are always gifts to one another. And when I say gifts, I don't just mean things. I mean, you gifted the Hawaiian Islands with an engagement program that we put together, and you and I stayed up
we did
all night, and we were living in a brand new
community. We hadn't opened yet. You were living in Minnie Pearl's room.
I was in Minnie Pearl's room, and you were down the hall, and we were cooking and having a wonderful time and trying out places in Hawaii before the pandemic. But you people came to that. There were people from
other facilities. Different islands.
Just from
we're it's a very small place. We're very tight, and we're very open with. We have some really especially close partners, the Arcadia Family Companies in 15 Craigside, where I'll teach at their place. They'll come. We're constantly sharing. There's other PAC trainers at other just a few other active pack trainers and other ones, and we get together. We call ourselves the Pack Hui, which means, you know, team or group. And so
And
yeah,
I can
yeah.
go home and get my shirt,
Oh yeah, the blue shirt.
blue shirt,
Yeah,
and my
yeah.
which is always so beautiful. But the point of me saying that is that's the pack mission, is nothing we have is ours. What
Mhm,
we try to do is make it ours, a bigger
mhm,
community.
mhm, mhm.
And so that speaks to that level of commitment to making a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that, again, PAC has helped Hale Ku'ike achieve as one of our goals, because it's Hale Ku'ike, and then the little tagline says the standard in memory care. So part of being the standard is not just trying to be the best, but we want people to, we want to raise all boats basically. And so we were committed to that from the beginning. And this, when I first became a PAC trainer, it was just families and staff. Then we started doing public, and then now, you know, it's just we're just open sharing that way. It's great.
Getting better doesn't make people less good. If you're
Right.
better, you can help other people come up. It's that
Right.
look behind and see who you can bring.
Right.
So
Right.
that's like the difference between awareness, which is
Yeah.
where you started with the videos, but
Yeah.
then knowledge, where you have people, and look at that schedule. That's a lot of knowledge, but then delivery is about skill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Seeing the skills
Mm-hmm.
in play in 4
Right.
weeks happening. And
Right.
then competence is where you help others. So you're
Yeah.
gaining that confidence and competence to be able to reach out and extend that opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to others.
And it's been interesting during the pandemic, and well, you had to stop doing in-person things too, switching gears and going to webinars. It's not something I would have chosen to do, but boy, Hawaii is a chain of islands, and
Yeah.
it's hard for the other people on other islands to come to things. They don't get as much in the way of health and human services or, you know, in-person training. I think in all my years with PAC, I've gone to each island at least once, and maybe a couple of them twice, but that's it.
Yeah.
But we're getting people from all islands, and, you know, so that's been a plus. So even when I think I can do in person again, I'm going to keep, I can't believe I'm saying it, but I will keep doing webinars.
Well, I mean, Dorothy, you've discovered the same thing we have at PAC, which is there's a joy in the virtual, which is your reach is so much broader than it
Mhm,
was.
mhm,
But
mhm.
there's absolute joy in being with people and
Mhm, mhm,
real moments. And there's
and like, as I talk about a little bit about my own journey, I know the difference between just watching something and getting to do it. So, you know, that's, you know,
So the part
that's
that Dorothy skipped, a part that Dorothy skipped was she would come over to the mainland, and yet she came to Las Vegas, but she would come and she would spend like a month doing other things and PAC related things. And she would
when I was on vacation. And
when she's on vacation from Hale Ku'ike, she would come and she would videotape all of the sessions and all the work that she did. And then she would watch the video of herself to gain skill. And she would video me and she would watch video, and we would evaluate ourselves, and we would look at ourselves and say, oh, that's where I said that. This would be better to say, I think. Let me try that. What do you think?
I think the first year and a half after PAC Trader, after I was required to put in a video, I never did it again, because I was like, that was a horrible experience. I'm never want to watch myself again.
He also said she would never sing.
I said I would never sing. Yes, yeah, I don't sing. But I never thought I would be on stage either, and then that happened too.
So Dorothy, one of the things that Teepa just kind of set us up for was this idea of these levels of awareness and competence, these levels. But before we get into kind of another thing that sets Hale Ku'ike apart, on SUP, on Straight Up Positive, we'd love to share those positive stories, those examples of what makes your community or you in your practice different with PAC skills. Something that's different from before your PAC skills to now.
Yeah.
Anything come to mind either with you or your community?
Yeah. I want to, but as I go into that, I want to mention another benchmark for us. One was my becoming a PAC trainer, and then more of us becoming PAC trainers. But the thing that helped us move beyond like as many that whole one mind at a time, any like little bites, was we had an RN of ours who was a nurse practitioner do his DNP project with us. And he was a certified PAC trainer who became certified with us. And we only had 2 locations at the time. He did little mini workshops for all the staff, knock shift, everything. I hit everybody and was able to measure the before and after agitation scale with the residents, and then also staff satisfaction. So we got that. We were able to get everybody in a way that we would not have, I and even the other pet would not have been able to do. So that was a huge boost that helped those 2 locations. And then now we have the 3rd location, and that location is newer with newer staff, who haven't had that long experience. We have another, I'm happy to say, DNP student who's an RN of ours who's going to do a similar project, a little bit different, but and be able to hit every staff member there in a way I just simply can't. So that's very exciting for us. But what the difference it makes is in the small things about where they stand, not yelling across the room like you walker, using substitution instead of subtraction, just little things that just make a huge difference, not arguing, and just, I don't know, you start to see it when it starts to spread enough, you start to see it beyond just like, I see these 2 people using it consistently. You start to have it be a more of a way of life, and having the leaders, the DONs and the administrators be trained so deeply, even though like the administrators are not the hands-on caregiver, the modeling and the support, to be able to, for them to be able to notice when it's being done right, and to be able to say, that's great how you did this with so-and-so. And yeah, so yeah,
So
it was
what
like,
you're
it's like
saying
a
is
tip,
this stuff
like a
works?
tipping point. Yes, it works. We have some data.
So some data about staff satisfaction, and what was the other measurable?
Resident agitation scale. Yeah.
Man, I have a feeling there's going to be some people
has
that are
that, yeah.
watching that are going to want to follow up with you about that.
So it's I think those skills that we had, and of course Deepa knows, we're always growing and growing, and we got wherever we were before the pandemic, that's what was able to sustain us throughout it, in terms of, I wasn't able to do more during the pandemic in terms of training, and, we didn't cross locations like we used to. It's just, so it was not stagnant, but we just held steady for this duration. Now we're ready to move forward again in that way in terms of progress. Yeah.
Holding steady during a pandemic is pretty much stellar.
Yeah.
The number of folks
I think so.
Anything.
The best thing about pandemic is when nothing happens.
When nothing happens. When absolutely nothing happens during a pandemic, this is a wonderful thing.
It's a win. I call it a win.
It's absolutely a win.
Yeah. But we are reopening all the rooms we set aside for. We also held steady in terms of, we didn't admit a lot of residents because we set aside rooms for COVID isolation, and we built a whole isolation wing. Thank goodness we never had to use it, but we're dismantling those things now, and we'll in terms of, we're so excited to meet more families and more people living with dementia and help them, and so that's going to be a real boost for us too. So it's exciting, and families are back together, and I have some pictures I wanted to share of that. Is this a good time?
Yeah, if you want to bring those pictures
So,
up, and I can say while you're doing that too, that we do have that study, and we're gonna get the link to that. We'll put that in YouTube underneath where the links are for this particular episode. So we'll make sure and get that out to you guys, so you guys can see that study that Dorothy was talking about. But yeah, tell us about these pictures, Dorothy.
yeah, so I wanted to pick up just a few pictures. I just have 4 of our residents and families during the pandemic. And, during our lockdown, we just did virtual visits like everybody else. And we did window visits. We use this EverSound system. It's these wireless headsets and mics. And it just made such a huge difference. Some of our residents, the families were stunned, like they don't seem to realize there's glass. And that's wonderful. So, they're separated by glass. They can hear each other clearly. The daughter brought in Crystal from her house that she knows these glasses, and doctor's order for some Chardonnay, and was a really, really nice visit. And then now this is
People didn't even have doctor's orders for Chardonnay, and they were getting a bottle during the pandemic. So, a little,
right.
hey, what the heck?
And then, but now that we've opened up, and that we got 99% of our residents vaccinated and 95% of our staff. We're just so happy and proud. But we're having families coming back in, still strict COVID protocols and testing. And if you're partially or unvaccinated, you'll be wearing that face shield. But we can get an antigen COVID test. But they can it's just 2 weeks now. They can touch and hug and really be together. One family brought fixings for banana splits, and they made banana splits together, and then they sat 6 feet apart, and the daughter could take off her mask, and they were able to eat banana splits together once they go back together. But
Dorothy, that smile says it all. Wow.
I know, doesn't it? And then here, the other thing that carried us through pandemic, this is Cookie, one of our service dogs. Yeah, they're always there for unconditional love and a lot of humor. And then this is one of our residents, and we do a lot of part of the crafts might be lei making and things like that. So this is the location you visited, Tipa, and where I was administrator. Yeah. So this is all pandemic pictures.
Going back to having those service animals and how huge having them there to support. Most of the places that I was in, no longer were they allowing service animals to come in. And even some of them that had animals in the building itself, they isolated the animals too. The animals could no longer even go in their normal places.
No.
And what a huge piece.
Our residents were out. These animals, Cookie and then Pepper at our Bayside location, and we have a cat too at Nu'uanu. They live there full time. They don't go home with anybody. They're residents, and yeah.
The other thing Dorothy's group has are life-size and weight babies that are different heritages, different cultures, because Dorothy's group
I wonder if I have a picture.
Has all kinds of cultures. I mean, that's Hawaii is this melting pot of cultures as well. And so, having babies that women have been caring for babies for then I know that you have babies of different backgrounds.
We do. We have Asian babies and Caucasian babies, and they're special baby dolls from Paradise. I'll have to look it up and tell you. Paradise something. Very ultra realistic baby dolls that are weighted, and there it is.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so there's a little Asian baby doll. So that baby is always with her, and she sings to it, and she's doing an activity. In this picture, they're making these bears called charity bears. So they're cutting them out, and then they design the faces. Then we have volunteers do the sewing, and then we take them to Shriners Hospital to donate. There we go. There's the charity bear. Yeah, so they designed it, but the fine skill is done by volunteers, this actual sewing. But then we bring them back, and they turn them and they stuff them, and then they go back to the volunteers to finish them up there. So it's a real team effort.
So it's a real service project, not a made up pretend one.
No. We've had the other service projects they've done, aside from helping out with office work, they stuff and label all our Christmas cards that you get and things like that. We've brought in small toiletries, and they've made kits to deliver to homeless shelters and things like that. So we're always looking for things for them to give back, because they can do so much.
Groups for us to use in our engagement courses.
Yeah. They do. They made all that. Yeah. There's a lot they can do, and they have a lot to give, and they love. Why are we doing this? Oh, these are for the children at Shriners Hospital. Oh, that's so wonderful. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I'm noticing something here. So boy, Tipa's bringing a whole lot of stuff up that she kind of already knows about what you guys are doing and things that are going on and things that we've even kind of pulled into some stuff that we've done in PAC. And I'm kind of curious, Why is that, Teepa? Was there something that you did with Dorothy and Hale Ku'ike that kind of gave you all of this extensive knowledge of what's been going on there and all of that?
Yeah, so you guys were sort of talking about this organization designation.
Yeah.
And just like we do everything, we truly believe the proof is in the pudding. It's all well and good to get a recipe, but if you don't do the recipe right, then the pudding doesn't turn out very good and nobody's going to want to eat it. And so at PAC, you've got to know your ingredients. You got to then know what you need to get in place, and you got to have that set up. And then you got to know how to cook. But you really, the bottom line is, if when we're doing things, it's not working, we need to know that. And so you want to taste and figure out what's happening. And so I had the true pleasure of going to, I was going to Hawaii to do some other programs, but while I was there, and that's 3 different trips. I think it was 3 different trips.
3 different trips.
I'd go to Hawaii, I'd spend some time at Hale Ku'ike, because if I don't see what's going on, if I don't experience what's going on. And so I spent time in buildings, spending time with residents, spending time with staff, going in with Dorothy, spending time with Dorothy, without Dorothy. Dorothy would go do something else, and I would wander around and engage. And what that did is gave me eyes on, feet on, in real time, and getting to meet and talk and be with staff and be with residents and be with families. And that opportunity provides us with real-time evidence that what is happening is real. It is not a piece of paper that somebody knows how to fill out. It's not, oh yeah, that's what we do. But when you look at it, it's like, well, that's actually not what you do. And so that was my role, was to go and affirm and verify that what everybody thinks is happening is actually happening. And feet on the ground, hands in the work, and you sort of take a look and say, yeah. And the good part is how open everybody is, and really, very willing to participate, because they want to know how they're doing. People want to know at Hale Ku'ike, they want to know the House of Knowledge. This is really, we are doing these things. And if we make a mistake or we do it this way, okay. Either I didn't know that, or, oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'm not sure. Well, let me try.
No, we make plenty of mistakes.
We all do, we're not perfect beings. But this is where the real excitement comes, is to watch and be part of, and then to be able to go, yeah, absolutely. Here you are. Yep, you've got this. And, during the pandemic, that they sustained these programs and got the value of doing it. I've got to say, next visit, we certainly need to up the stakes, because it surely seems like we're at even the next level. So maybe it's time to look at those levels of organization designation.
Teepa.
So it sounds like, Teepa, this organization designation, is it kind of like a PAC good housekeeping stamp of approval, or?
It's a shared stamp of approval that what we're seeking is what you're seeking, and that what you're seeking is what you're willing to commit to doing, and we're committed to supporting. And when we do that all together, then we both say, yes, this is what is happening, and this is at the ability state you are. This is your DEM state. In other words, this is your ability state. And that's really exciting. And so this was now 2 years ago.
2019.
It was 2019, because we were supposed to go back last summer when we would have been able to progress this up.
Right. But, the thing for us, I think, because we moved from just focusing on individuals, and this becoming part of this, especially at the launching of it, being one of the first ones, we're taking a bigger picture look now at all 3, and that's kind of what my new role with Hale Ku'ike is, bringing the 3 together.
Yeah, and it's been fun to watch this new building come into being, because I was there, and to watch what they've been able to do through the pandemic is pretty remarkable. Because with the significant loss of life in so many places, that this speaks to, did it really need to be like that? And it's like the hurt of, did it really need to be like that? Did people need that? And the answer is Well, you must ask the question, probably not.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just really hard. But the plus is, here's the evidence that it can be done.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe, Carrie, it looks like you got something rendered and you're ready to show something. So yeah, let's take a look and see what, well, I think somebody else we all know is in on this one, and she's a younger one, but I think maybe she knows what she's talking about, perhaps. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Amanda Bulgarelli here. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about how to bring positive approach to care, Teepa Snow's company, into your organization to create a culture that cares. We actually already have quite a few organizations that are PAC designated organizations. One of our knowledgeable organizations at the top of the pack is Hale Ku'ike. Dorothy Colby out there in Hawaii has been working hard for years to build a full team. And when you walk into Hale Ku'ike, you just know they know. And they use PAC skills through all of their work. And whether you're living with dementia or whether you're supporting those living with dementia or whether you're a volunteer, you've heard of Teepa Snow and you practice the positive approach to care. If your organization is at a place where you're ready for some awareness and knowledge, you want to start at the bottom, because that is where you need to paint the broad brush. You've got to hit all 100%. You can do awareness with our DVDs, online streaming, or maybe even a speaker. You can build in knowledge and content by adding in an in-service learning kit or online group learning. If you have your own platform and you want to add our content, you can build awareness through content alone, or you can purchase our additional kit with quizzes, certificates, and handouts to add to your own LMS platform for knowledge. So all four of these ways are ways that you can get awareness and knowledge to your whole team, everybody involved. Now, if you go into our website, teepasnow.com, and you type into the search bar, challenging behaviors, I know that's a big one out there, you'll find the 4 different ways you can access this content right there. Or you can check out our store and find dementia care education options for professionals to see a comparison of these offers. Let's say you've done some awareness and knowledge, and now you're ready for the next step in the pyramid. When you're ready to start building skill in your team and working towards competence, becoming a designated organization, you want to base it off of the awareness and knowledge first, because those are where the minds matter. Once you have awareness and knowledge in every person out there, you can start trying out and building some skills. Through PAC Mentors, we offer services in virtual or in large group virtual, or you could get your very own certified independent professional who works within your community. So nothing is out of reach for anybody if you're willing to try and begin building awareness, knowledge, skill, and competence with positive approach to care.
So
That was
Dorothy's
awesome.
group is well beyond awareness and knowledge. They're into skill. And that means as an organization, they're into using skills. So this is real different. So Amanda's talking about for groups that are just getting started. How do you get started? Well, you don't want to eat the whole birthday cake. Just make you sick and somebody will throw up.
Yeah. Start with yourself.
Yeah.
And then start with someone else.
Start with yourself and someone else.
Yeah.
And so, Carrie, thank you for putting that together, and for Amanda for putting it out. So, Dorothy, you guys, when we get to travel again, are you ready for the next step up?
I am, for sure. For sure.
You ready for those
Excited.
3 feathers? Because I think
Yeah.
sounds like you guys are ready for the 3 feathers.
Oh, yeah. We definitely built some level of skills that we never anticipated. I mean, even something as simple as, I mentioned we were wearing the mask and the face shield. Of course, we all knew visual cues first. Well, boy, if they can't hear you and can't see your face, and all this, whatever you can do with your eyes and your hands, and just the tone of your voice, not the words. I mean, that kind of brings it all to the front. It's like, so that was the extent of the training we did. Tipo, it was just like, okay, we're wearing all this. Please always be in the front and use your whole body to talk. Yeah. And as we've scaled back that armor, so now fully vaccinated staff can, we immediately see the difference in how they can understand us. And, we worked with it, we did it, but it's, there are, as well as we did, it's getting better and better every day. Yeah.
Dorothy, I love learning more about the work that you do outside of PAC, because I've always known the work you did within PAC, and you are just such a rock star. And anybody that has had Dorothy as a mentor, maybe show some love in the comments below. And I know your PAC team is glad to see you on Straight Up Positive tonight. But now it's so fun to see this other amazing thing that you do. Thank
Come
you.
to Hawaii and I'll cook for you.
I will definitely take you up on that offer.
Okay.
She'll also take you to all the best restaurants on the island.
Yeah.
Knows where they are.
I think when it's time for that 3rd feather, I think I need to be that team coming over.
Amazed how many volunteers I get.
Oh yeah. A lot of volunteers.
I'm willing to take one for the team.
Yeah.
This is such amazing. And, I think the biggest thing here too is just seeing that part, and Tipa even mentioning before too, it's that community. It's not just about, I'm just going to do us and that's it. It's let's bring everybody on board. Let's get everybody into this company. Hey, do you want to know some more? Do you want to get some more? Join us. We're here to help. We want to get this out. And that is huge.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, Hale Ku'ike only cares for 80 residents. It's a drop in the bucket of what just in Hawaii, people who are living with dementia. Whether it's so, in that sense, we have a very small reach, physical reach, but I think we have an outsized influence. Yeah.
Awesome, Dorothy. And for any of you out there who are watching this and you want to know more about that organization designation, you can find information on the website. Also, we're going to, in 2 weeks, so not next Tuesday, but in 2 weeks, we're going to have another group on talking about their organization designation, and also a couple of our PAC team folks talking about how you can take that next step, other than what Amanda said today, but really some nuts and bolts of what's next for us if we're interested in pursuing this. So come back next Tuesday and the Tuesday after and see more positive stuff going on.
Okay, Dorothy, I'll do the first line and you do the second line.
What's that?
You ready?
Okay.
Come from the front.
Oh, God. Go slow.
Get to the side.
Get low.
Offer your hand.
Call out their name.
Then wait.
I'm glad you got the high note.
If you will try,
then you will see
how different
life can be for those you're caring for. You got me to sing on YouTube Live.
Oh my gosh. That was amazing. You guys.
Somebody, I don't know, it was you or one of the other mentors. So did you notice how the audience reacted? I'm like, I have no idea. I was blind. I couldn't see anything. I was just like frozen. Anyway.
There you go, Tipa. There you go.
Growing day by day.
Yes, that was so awesome. I don't think.
I'm glad nobody told me I was going to do that.
We didn't warn you, did we? I don't think there's any better way to end a SUP episode than that. I mean, where do you go from there?
Home to her chicken. Home to
Home
her.
to my chickens. Yes, I have a lot of chickens.
Yes, yep, gotta get to the chickens. Well, thank
Okay.
you, Dorothy.
Thanks for having me. It's really great. I've really missed being active, and this is a
Hello.
great way to start out this new year. Okay.
I'm practicing my Hawaiian for when I get to come
Yes,
back.
mahalo, mahalo.
Mahalo.
Yeah.
And thank you, Teepa, for joining us and helping us explore this organization designation. Thank you, Carrie, for, I mean, that was amazing, giving us that great information. Thank you, Rebecca, as always, my brilliant and wonderful and amazing co-host. You guys are so awesome. We appreciate you all. Thanks for joining us. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, there's the tattoo.
Get in there, sign up for the conference, get the tattoos, get all that free swag, all that awesome stuff. And we hope to see you guys next Tuesday. Till then, bye everybody.
Thanks.
Stay positive, everyone.